This report brought to you by the Richmond Club, where investors and high-growth companies meet.
Hi, my name is Sam Ataya, and I'm the President and CEO of Western Magnesium Corporation. I'd like to tell you a little bit about our company. 9 years ago, we gathered a group of scientists and engineers and brought them together for the purposes of bringing back the production of magnesium metal into the United States, focusing on industries such as the auto, aerospace, airline, eco-friendly technology companies such as car battery companies, the US government, and military. We really had to prove three concepts at the time. Number one, we had to be the most price competitive to the largest producer of magnesium metal today, which is China. Number two, our technology had to be scalable, which currently it is not. You see, there's been no technological developments in magnesium metal production for the last 60 years, and no new plant built in the United States in the last 50 years. So you either build a big plant or you don't build it at all. Our technology, however, is scalable. We can build a 3,000 metric ton plant in a rural community serving industry in that rural community, or we can build a big 500,000 metric ton plant in the middle of Detroit servicing industries such as the auto industry. So our technology is scalable. And finally, and perhaps this is the most important one, we are an eco-friendly technology. The process of producing magnesium metal today is somewhat to extremely toxic. Yet I'm happy to say that our technology is zero waste and close to, if not completely, zero toxicity. We not only meet, but we beat EPA requirements. In fact, I'm happy to say that we won't just be the greenest magnesium metal plant in the world, we will simply be the greenest metal plant in the world. 3 years ago, we proved concept, and we now have moved from an R&D state to a production state. But let me take a step back and talk about magnesium metal and why it's so important today. Magnesium metal is 80% lighter than steel, 60% lighter than titanium, and 33% lighter than aluminum, yet its weight to strength ratio is just as strong as steel. And because we're able to produce it in bar form metal, in a pellet form, or a molten form, we're able to address all industries in the US and their needs. Because we're able to do so, we're able to deal with industries that have assembly line manufacturing and need a continuous supply of magnesium metal. Let me tell you how important lightweight materials are today. Because all these industries are facing EPA regulatory issues for their carbon output, lightweight materials are the best possible way to help those industries meet these EPA requirements. Let's take, for example, the auto industry. Let's take the Ford F-150. If we were simply to change 5 parts on it, headlights, taillights, the tailgate, the support beam, and the dashboard, it would lighten the load of the Ford F-150 by 500 pounds. That is a significant weight reduction, helping the Ford F-150 meet future EPA requirements. It is with this in mind that we are building and creating and producing magnesium metal in the United States to help those industries. And because lightweight materials are so important today, there's a very big demand for this magnesium metal. Yet here's the problem that we face. In the world today, there's only 1 million metric tons of metal being produced. That's it. 1 million metric tons, and 85% of it is produced by China. So we have very little control of resource production and manufacturing within the United States to address those industries and supply them with the metal that is needed. When China came into the market in the United States in 1995, they decimated the marketplace for magnesium metal. In fact, by 1997, 6,000 casting companies had shut their doors, and that was it. The US government had not moved or reacted enough in time to help the magnesium industry, because at that time, lightweight materials were not so important. But today they are. In fact, let me tell you that the US government has, under this administration, has issued Executive Order 13817, which makes magnesium metal a national security interest issue and has put it on the 32 most protected metals list. Not only that, there's a 114% tariff on any magnesium metal entering the United States. And the US government is hoping that companies such as ourselves would answer the call and really invest and build manufacturing plants that produce magnesium metal servicing these industries. And that's what we're doing today. We have a perfect situation to build out our company because not only is the industry demand so high, but also the government is helping support the build out of our industry. So when we moved from an R&D state to a production state, we really had to do a few things, and I'll call that phase one. First, we had to bring in a really good team to manage that production side. And I'm happy to say that we brought in an excellent team with great experience to help us move to the next level. We also needed external expertise. We needed to work with the best of the best, law firms, accounting firms, PR firms, to make sure that not only did we have the best advice moving forward, but that we also understood and navigated through the dark waters of dealing with big industry and to understand how our teams are going to move forward with those big industries. There's a lot of work to do. We had the internal and external expertise, and now we felt that we can move forward in a good way to build out the big plants in the United States. We have our own IR team because we didn't feel that we were ready yet to go into institutional investors. We wanted to make sure that we put our money where our mouth was and make sure that we put everything in place to that point where we felt that investors would want to come in and invest in our company. And finally, we re-domiciled the company to the United States. We're a Delaware-based corporation out of the US. We're trading on the TSXV in Canada primarily and on the OTCQB. So phase one was a very busy phase of making sure that we had the right people because the technology that we have has never been built. We have big engineering firms that are certifying and stamping our work, making sure that what we're building is right and we can move forward with it. So now we've gone into phase two. Where are we in phase two? We are building out our first commercialized pilot plant. Now, for most investors that invest in industrial technology companies, they're waiting 2, 3, 4 years to see any results. But remember, we've been working real hard and we've started the build out of that commercialized pilot plant. Once we produce that metal, we'll be able to send it out to the different industries, auto, aerospace, airline, again, eco-friendly technology companies such as battery companies, US government and military, and they'll test and certify, and they'll come back to us once it's certified, and we'll know two things. What form do they want this metal in? Do they want it in pellet, bar, or molten form? And how much metal they want. And that analytics will help us build the big plants that we're going to build across the United States. Number two, we started negotiating with different states in the US with their governors and economic development committees to see what is the best first site where we're going to put our big commercialized plant. And I'm happy to say that we've narrowed the field, and in the next 4 to 6 months, we'll be signing with one of those states. And finally, we're going to become S1 reporting within the next 5 to 6 months. That process, which is an important process for our company, will help us do two things. One, it will help us navigate from the current TSXV and the OTCQB into a major board like NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange. But it'll also open the door for investment from big hedge funds and equity groups that now can invest in us because we're S1 reporting. This is a very important step for us, and it's a very important step for our shareholders and investors that are going to invest in our company today, because there is a roadway, a pathway that helps us to get onto the major boards. At Western Magnesium, we believe that we've done everything in our power to make sure that we are ready and that we're ready to go with investment, we're ready to go to build out our plants, and that we're ready to start the process of producing, manufacturing magnesium metal for the different industries in the United States. Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video, please let us know. You've been watching the Richmond Club Report. If you've just come across this channel, please feel free to like and subscribe. I'm sure you'll find a lot of interesting and lucrative investment and trading ideas around here. We'll see you again soon on the next video. Cheers, guys. Have an amazing and profitable day.